Well, hello. This is my third broadcast of the day, which is quite unusual. But as you all are aware, we are living in unusual times. But hey, it can only be unusual when it's referenced against something else. So when it's simply as it is, there ain't unusual and no unusual about it. It's just the way it is. So look, I'm going to be doing these broadcasts, I don't know, every day, every other day, something like that. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to watch it, and then I want you to share it. I want you to get this stuff out there, all right? We wouldn't be banging away at this stuff for as long as we've been banging away at it. And I mean, we have been banging away at it. We're not sitting around eating bonbons, waiting for the world to turn out somehow. We are in it, okay? The front lines, the trenches, face to face, full on, full front, like that one. You know, we're really in it. So, I promise you that. A lot of good trouble. In fact, if you're not in good trouble, what the heck are you doing with life? Anyway, not anyway, but so I go out this morning 100 miles, a weird 100-mile skate all around New York City. And between now and well, not sure what's happening here anyway, but I think we're still on. So I go and I found Seven Leaf right in Brooklyn. I'm like, holy cow, this is great because one of our sponsors is Seven Leaf. That's the company name. And I'm thinking, this is great. I can go and they've actually got a store. I can go and I can thank them. I can appreciate them as our sponsor. I can buy some stuff. Excuse me. I can promote them. This is going to be such a win-win-win-win for us, for the environment, for humanity, everybody, for Seven Leaf, all that, right? So I go in. I want to put them on the show because I want to promote the head of them, right? And so I go in and the woman opens the door and I said, hey, so I'm excited to be here. You all are one of my sponsors. She said, well, I don't think we're one of your sponsors. I said, no, it's Seven Leaf and we're one of your sponsors. You know, look on our website. You know, I mentioned the woman who's on our team. Husband is has the money. And she said, no, that's not it. You got some users. She's very unfriendly, okay? Like not just trying to help me with my confusion. She was clearly on edge, all right? And I don't think the on edge started when I showed up, if you know what I'm saying. So I said, all right, so I'm still kind of working. I said, oh, I look at the bottle and the logo looks a little different. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's a different one, right? But still, I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm here. I skated all the way from my apartment to this store. The only reason I skated to this part of Brooklyn, I said, I'm still gonna buy something, want to look around, want to shop, and I want to promote their store because, you know, there they are, right? And it's all about the environment and peace and harmony and all that, right? And herbs, all that stuff, you know? And so she's like, well, that isn't. I'm like, all right, fine, no problem. You know, I made a mistake and, you know, so I'm just going to kind of look around and stuff, right? And then she's so I just shut my camera off because I wasn't going to, you know, there's no segment to do because it's not that story. I could still promote them, right? And she said, were you filming? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it was just a little show. And she said, well, did you film me? And I said, well, I don't know. I actually don't even know if I did film her. I don't think I did, but I don't know. I said, well, you know, just the store. I just filmed the story. She said, well, and then I said, all right, hey, you know, hang on, right? She said, well, you know, I just think you should leave. I can't believe it. She's asking me to leave, right? I'm like a skateboarder, skateboarding to empower humanity to end the climate crisis, out to promote their store and their product and whatever it is that they're doing, right? And she's asking me to leave. I'm like, well, really? She said, yes. She said, I feel very uncomfortable with you in the store. So I'm like, okay, fine, right? So I leave. Like, holy F, right? What the F? All right. Boy, it doesn't sound right with just the initial, does it? But you can fill in the blanks. So I'm like, fine, all right. So I, you know, anyway, schlep all the way, you know, skate all the way back to, you know, my apartment back in the neighborhood. I stopped in the like bodega, wonderful bodega right part. Excuse me. So I go to some coffee, and I'm going like this because this is what you do when you're inside. You wear a mask. Well, I go to the back of the store, which is where the coffee is, and I'm getting my coffee, and this uh, large man um, uh, comes to the back of the store, and he's talking very loud on his phone. I can hear him, and he's talking about how much he loves his family. And telling whoever is on the other phone, I love my family. You know how much I love my family, right? And I look at the guy; he doesn't have a mask on. All right, so I put two and two together. It's not hard, right? And I think, geez, if this guy really loves his family, I think he'd wanting to be wearing a mask so he doesn't take COVID home to his family. That's like a natural thing. Like, okay, so I'm going to give this guy a little support because he loves his family. So all I do is this. Well, my God, this guy just explodes all over me. Okay. Who the F you, your mother, F mother, listen, that's none of your business. Listen, you do what you do and I do what I do. And don't you ever say anything to me. And I mean, just goes off on me like a enraged, right? Goes off on me like OJ. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, how am I going to get from here? And I got my skateboard and, these mashed potatoes to go that I got at the diner on the way back that I mean, it's like, and my coffee, like, this is going to be it for me. They're going to find me at the back of the store, with my helmet and my mask on, still a good example for safety. Anyway, so I just like, got my coffee. I walked to the front of the store. By the time I paid and was walking out the store, he was still screaming at me. Okay. Like, oh my God. Right. So I hightailed it out of there and got back into my apartment. But man, what scary stuff. Okay. It is a shit. Just two examples. All right. But I'm going to tell you, okay, race is not the problem. Okay. Carbon is not the problem. The raising temperatures are not the problem. The political system is not the problem. You know what's busted? Like, here's our 2020. You know what's busted? Humanity is what's busted. So these are just two examples that I had today, and it's not even 2:00 yet. But time, out there in the world as living with me that has absolutely nothing happening. You got two people that live completely ears. So wasn't talking to me, the woman at the herb store. She was talking to whatever the hell was between her ears. That guy at the coffee place screaming his head off at me, he wasn't yelling at me. He was yelling at what was happening. He wasn't dealing with what was happening. Somebody actually tried to make a contribution to the guy. And that woman wasn't dealing with what I was out there for, trying to empower her and get her on board and let her know that they could participate in ending the climate crisis and empowering their customers. None of that was even on their radar because the situation was so jammed up with the crap between their ears that they relate to like it's actually happening. That's the problem. And until human beings wake up so that life is actually happening out here and is unrelated to what the hell is going on between your ears, you can just kiss humanity goodbye. And our extinction will be gosh darned well earned. So that's the news for the day. This is Lachlan Arts. This is Context News. This is 2020 or Bust. This is So You Want to Change the World. This is the Your Busted 2020 tour. Share this. Get the word out. You're busted 2020.